Hey there, it's the ABCs of Preschool podcast, the place to be for busy moms, teachers, and childcare providers. I'm your host, Miss Amber, an early childhood expert with nearly 3 decades of experience and a proud mama too. I know you're running around with those littles, so let's jump right in. Hello, friends. This is Miss Amber with the ABCs of Preschool podcast. Welcome. This week's topic has been on my mind a lot, especially going into the week ahead. It's a really big week in our family, in our household, and the topic of time and really just thinking how fast it's going has been on my mind. I've been emotional. I've been excited. I've been kind of in shock that my youngest, my baby, is graduating high school in 4 days and turning 18 in about 12 days. And today I just want to talk about making time a priority in our life. And how do we do that in such a busy society, especially with these devices that I'm holding up in my hand. I'm holding up my iPhone. Especially living in a society with a computer and with having access to everything any moment, and social media and scrolling and being able to check out from life by just scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or watching a zillion TikTok videos. But today I just want to encourage all of us, especially if you've got little ones. If you have little ones, this is the episode for you, because I cannot believe how fast time has flown. And again, I'm a little emotional because ever since I was young, I knew I wanted to be a mom. Like, I've always known I was going to be a mom. I wanted a big family. Like, that is just something in me. Not everybody's like that. I respect the choice of everyone. But for me, motherhood was my biggest dream. And I love being a mom. Like, I love it. I loved all the aspects of motherhood. And I remember always getting stopped in the grocery store by older seniors and always telling me, enjoy these moments because they're going to go fast. And I would always be like, When you're parenting young kids, you were in the thick of it. Your life is crazy. They need you all the time. You hear mommy, 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 or daddy, 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 like 20 times a day, right? You hear those words. They need you for everything, for food, just for all aspects of your children's lives. They need you. So sometimes it's so easy to pick up this phone and just tune it out because you need a break and not be present with your little ones. But today's episode, I just heard something really cool on my walk. And I thought this is what we're going to talk about today, because you guys, it goes so fast. I have 4, and my baby is graduating high school, and it hits a little different because she's going to be 18. And it's like my job, I did it. When we have little ones, we focus on getting them through high school, getting them to 18. We want them to fly. We want them to soar. It's like when they're little, they're this beautiful caterpillar, right? Like, they're growing and changing, but our job is to protect them. We want to protect them from everything in this world when they're little. But as they get older, they get a little bit more independent. They can do a little bit more things. They start sports maybe. They start doing play dates and sleepovers at friends' house. Like, it's all these stages. And when our kids get to high school, especially when they get their license, you don't see them as much. And inch by inch, milestone by milestone, you're giving them more freedom, because our ultimate job as parents are to train up beautiful, responsible, independent human beings. And come 12 days and come Saturday, my youngest, my job, as I've known it for, since I was 22, I'm 46 now, is coming to an end in many ways. And it's been coming to an end. When our kids get to high school, our job becomes more and more of cheering them on and allowing them to make their mistakes and being there for them, because we really want them to make the mistakes while we still have them. We're all going to make mistakes. Actually, we should be parenting and allowing our children to do things on their own, but also fall and then get back up. And so it's changing for me. My role is changing. And I will always be mom to my kids, and I'm always going to be here, and I'm always going to cheer them on. But it's not my role anymore to tell my kids what to do, how to do it. That's their job. And in 12 days, my youngest will be 18. And she's going to have the freedom and the responsibility to guide and direct her own life, just as we at 18 and in high school, we are all humans on this human experience, walking on our own journey, our own paths, and we have to respect that of our children. But today's is just about time and making that a priority and making spending time with our kids a priority. And because it goes so fast, there's so much now that I look back on and think, whoa, I wonder if I would have changed that, if that would have made a difference here, or if I was off my phone more. So here's what I heard today. Time is like an ice cube, which is a really cool analogy. Time is like an ice cube. Imagine going into your freezer and an ice cube falls on the ground. And you just don't want to pick it up, right? Because you know it's just going to melt and it's not going to be a big deal. So you go and run some errands, or you go in the bathroom, or you do whatever. You're gone for a couple minutes, and that you come back and you forget about the ice cube because it's not there. It melted. Think about that in the sense of raising your children. It is like an ice cube. It will melt so fast. And are you prioritizing your time with your children? Are you making that a priority? Because I know how it feels when you are in the midst of it and they're young and they need you all the time. I understand. I remember it felt very overwhelming a lot, but that moment's going to go so fast. Our job, let's see, when our kids reach the age of 12, I heard this stat too. When our kids reach the age of 12, 75% of our parenting job is over. 75% by the age 12. 90% when they graduate high school. Our parenting job is done. All these years, that's why the years 0 to 5 are so critical. It's like laying this foundation for the rest of their life. How much time are you giving your kids? How much are you making them a priority? I thought I did a pretty good job. I always managed my school and work and family life, but I could have done better. And especially with phones now, phones were kind of a new thing when I was parenting, and that's how old I am. And I think I want to encourage all of us to start turning it off when our kids are present. When my daughter comes home, I know now, because my time is almost over. It's like literally seconds from the clock over. And so I know I turn my phone off and I'm just turn the TV off, and I just want to be present with her because I'm soaking in every single second. But what I want to say today is encourage you young parents of little ones to soak in every second, to make them a priority. So how do we make them a priority in this busy world with all our jobs and all our responsibilities? Here's 3 tips for you. First, just choose it. If you want to acknowledge time is moving so quickly, and that you acknowledge right now, today, this moment, that your time with your little ones are in a blink of an eye. By the time an ice cube melts, your parenting role and journey will be over. It will change. You will always be a parent, but your kids, you're not going to see them every day. You're not going to hear from them every day. They're going to make their own choices. They're going to make their own failures. We cannot protect them anymore. So our job when they're young is each step of the way, each milestone in their journey as little ones to elementary kids, to junior high kids, to high school. Each milestone is to prepare them so they can fly in this world successfully. So the first thing is really choosing to make time a priority with your children. And so how do we do that? I would say we speak it. We let your partner know. I really want to make spending time with the kids a priority because it's going to be over before we know it. Speak it out loud. Let people know this is what your priority is. The next one is calendar things, because I don't know about you, but for me, if it is not on the calendar, if I do not see it in 3 different places, I forget about it. I completely forget. So when your kids maybe their soccer schedule or their baseball schedule comes out or their school calendar, sit down and capture those dates right away. Put all the kids' functions on your calendar. And if you're working, if you've got jobs like all of us, schedule around that. Make their baseball games, their soccer games, their school events, their field trips a priority. I promise you, you will not regret it. You will not regret going on that field trip. You will not regret going to all their soccer games, because in a blink of an eye and in the melting of an ice cube, it is over. And let me tell you a story. I remember it was Mother's Day, 2009. My now 22-year-old, who's in the Air Force, was in first grade. And it was about, I think, 7 or 8 days after my bilateral mastectomy, after I was going through my breast cancer. And I remember there was a Mother's Day tea at the school. Not a tea. It was like a Mother's Day, because it was first grade. It was a Mother's Day celebration at the school. I had been in bed pretty much full time. I had drains coming out of my sides. I had 4 drains. Bilateral mastectomy was very difficult of a surgery for me. It was rough. But I remember my aunt was helping me. Thank you, Aunt Anita. It was great. I had 2 of my aunts were taking turns coming all the way from out of town to help take care of me and the kids. And I remember I was not going to miss this Mother's Day event. So my aunt helped me out of bed. My aunt helped me get dressed. I had these 4 drains coming out of me. I was like holding them. She drove me to the school. I remember it was so difficult for me to walk into the classroom, to get to the classroom. By the time I got to my son's classroom, I was like sweating. I was out of breath. I was the last one to get into that classroom, but I was there. There was no way I was going to miss it. There's no way I was going to miss it. And I was huffing and puffing, but I was there. I could look into my son's eyes and I was there. And I do not regret that. I do not regret being at most of all my kids' games, like moving my work schedule. I remember at 3:00 in the afternoon, I was done with work. I had to be, because I was in the car. I was driving the kids. I don't regret any of it. What makes me sad is divorce. So I got divorced, and during my kids' really critical years of high school and junior high, the home was split. And that's one of my biggest regrets. And I just promise you, you're not going to regret making time a priority, because we never know what comes tomorrow. We never know what's coming around the corner. So calendar it. Calendar the important things and work around that schedule, making your children a priority. And the third thing is be present. I was just talking with my husband about this. We literally had this talk, and a lot of us with ADHD and our minds just going a mile a minute, it's really easy to get into the phone and just like, we have so many thoughts, like going around in our head. But my husband and I just had this conversation with her, and I just told him, Kat, my daughter, she's only going to be here. Her time with us is so short. Like, we're not going to really see her anymore. And when she came in, he was on his phone the other night. And I remember the next day I was like, hey, you probably don't even realize you're doing it, but you're on your phone while she's sitting here. Her time here is going to be over so fast. So I'm making it a priority. He's now choosing to make it a priority of, even when they get older, when they come in our presence, smile, be happy to see them, put our phones down, and give them our attention. And I know they could be telling you a very boring story with so many details. You say, okay, cool. Because they just want to be heard, just like we want to be heard with our partners. So being present with our kids, maybe what it is like Sunday is family day. And you're going to not use your phones very much. Sunday is family day, or maybe Saturday works better for you guys. That's family day. Like, that is your day. You aren't going to work and you're going to have family day. Or being present could also be when you have multiple kids. I used to do date night. So date night would be, I would take one child out and I would spend that time with them, with whatever they wanted to talk about, with whatever restaurant they wanted to go to. That was their time, being present. Because I think the older we get, the things that are going to bother us, we're going to have guilt, is all the things that we didn't do right with our kids. So if we can just be intentional with prioritizing our time with our kids, we will not regret it. And let me tell you, it goes incredibly fast. It is true. What people tell you, and you're going to hear it 20 times, 30 times, 40 times, 50 times. It is so true. So today, I just encourage you to prioritize your time with your kids. Calendar it. Get those dates, get those field trips on the schedule as fast as you can, and work around them if you can. And then third, just be present. When they want to tell you a story, when you're picking them up from school, they all get in the car, don't be on your phone. Just listen. Ask them questions. Listen. Be present. So worth it, because we are also leading by example. Again, if they see us always checked out when they're around, they're going to check out. You want to make sure we prioritize our time with our children, because we want to create a safe, loving place where they can come to us when they are in need, because they know you're going to listen. They know you're going to be present. You guys have an amazing week. Thank you for listening. I promise we are not going to regret prioritizing time with our kids. It is an ice cube melting so fast. Have a beautiful week. Wish it, dream it, do it. Thanks for listening. I appreciate you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to hear this podcast. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss the next episode. For more information on how to work with me, Miss Amber, visit me at thelovingstartway.com or follow me on Insta at thelovingstartway.